Hello and welcome to Medieval Dynasty. Well, it's the last day of summer, so I think we better go to bed, because otherwise if I don't go to bed, I'll just get forced into the next season anyway. It's 23-22, so I'm just going to try and figure out which house this is. I think this is our house here. Yeah, this is where we live, right? Okay. So we're going to go to sleep and see what we get when we go into the next season, which is autumn. It's looking a bit foggy outside. So that's our little one there. So he is officially, I think he's still technically 0. If we're going to management, so Ulrich, yeah, he's at 0. I quite like that. He's at level 4 for the survival. So I mean, all the other people that we've got, I mean, they have all the NPCs that you go out and find, they're maxed out at level 3. Children, it seems, can end up with higher levels, but also these NPCs, as they're doing their work, they get better over time. So I mean, Damrika, for example, she's been working the field, so she's on up to level 4, but she's out of action for at least 2 more years now. So at the moment we've got Edmund over here doing the fields. So because we're in autumn, yeah, so that needs oats. So it says you need a scythe. Actually, either a scythe or a sickle will do. Yeah, the scythe's better because they can chop things down much better. And then we've got cabbages for him to work on. This is going to be for our flax field, so he's not going to touch that until at least the spring of next year anyway. If you have a look in management on the fields. Yeah, so they're all ready to go. It's just a case of we've got to wait till spring until he can plant anything. On the other hand, these, as you can see, these are all ready to be harvested. You'll have to put the fertilizer down that side and then re-fertilize these patches. Because the only thing is, I mean, it's when you get to winter, the only thing you can actually do in winter is the carrots anyway. But what is it we're going to do this episode? Well, I was kind of forced into building the workshop over there and the well as part of chapter 6, I think it was. Just have a look on the journal. So that was chapter... Yeah, so we forced into doing that just to be able to get the building limit increased. And what I'm basically doing at the minute, I'm trying to make this place a lot more self-sufficient. Now, part of the plan was I was going to do a sewing hut, because that takes a bit of the pressure off me to have to keep coming back here to create these sewing bags, because I can make sewing bags with just 3 leather. But they tend not to last long. On the other hand, if you get a sewing hut, you can actually learn a schema to actually do a lot better. I don't need a torch. Speaking of things, I'm actually just double checking to see if there's any bags. So I've got quite a few bags there. Just wondering if we've got any rot actually while we're at it. But I think what I'm actually going to do, the plan was to build that sewing hut. Oh wow, we've got a lot of rot here. So I may as well convert that over, actually. Oh, it's too much. I can't carry anymore. Okay, fair enough. Goes into food. Wow, 2,200. That's a lot. I certainly don't think I can carry that amount over. Yeah, so I can just about get that across. But yeah, the plan was to actually build that sewing hut. But I think what I am going to do is I'm going to build a house over there. And I want to hire somebody to work on that workshop, because they can then start producing the actual is it barrels, I think it was, or buckets. Yeah, it's buckets. And then I'll actually hire somebody who can work the well, and that'll take even more pressure off me to do anything really. But first things first, I need to get all of this fertilizer converted over, because I don't have anybody working in the farm, so I'm just doing this sort of stuff myself. I mean, I'll gain the XP from it. But yeah, I think we'll get our fertilizer made, and then we'll start building a house for somebody to work in the workshop and a house for somebody to work on the well. So pretty easy enough to do. So I'll do those off camera, and then I'll bring you back once they're ready, because then we'll have to go out in search of 2 new recruits. Well, we're into day 2 of autumn, and the weather is terrible. It's lousy. It took me most of the day to actually get 2 houses built, but I did manage to get some skills out of it, which was useful. So I think I'll put some points into those. So I've actually got 2 points to spend in extraction, which is interesting. I mean, we could do slow loss, 6 and 2 3s, I suppose. I mean, we're not at the point of using pickaxes and shovels, so I think I'll just put that into this one here, because I've maxed out the extraction knowledge. There's no point going any, well, we can't go any further with that one. But this opens up tier 3, so I'm going to actually use the mule one now, because then that'll allow us to actually carry more. And then that opens up tier 4, which at this stage I don't really need anything in there. So I'll probably max that out and then think of something else. Because I was turning all of that rot into fertilizer, I've also now got 2 points in farming, would you believe it? So seeing as we're actually doing farming things, in other words, we're working in the barn, I may as well max this one out. Because for whatever reason, I wasn't getting any benefit out of that if I just work the field, but I do get a benefit if I actually do things in the barn. That leaves, well, we don't have any, well, these ones like Knight Rider, Carrot and Stick, and Skilled Rider, they're of no use to me at all until we actually get a horse, and that's a long way off. We don't have any trees, so there's no point doing that one. I'm not really, to be honest, I don't do a great deal. Even that one there's no use to me because I don't have an actual horse. So there's that, I suppose. We could... careful farmer. I mean, I suppose we could put it into that skilled farmer. Well, I could do that because there are times where I have to do some of the farming myself, I suppose. So those 2 could be beneficial to me, because it's just sometimes we get towards the end of a season and the NPC hasn't getting everything done, so I've got to suddenly start rushing around and doing some of the stuff myself. So yeah, I suppose it makes sense to probably start maxing these ones out actually. Anywho, now they've got those 2, I need 1 person to do the well, and I need 1 person to do the woodwork. I think it's a woodworker's hut. Let's see, so it's the workshop, right? Okay, so it's a workshop to do and a well. So I need somebody who's good at extraction and somebody who's good at production. Now, oh wow, that rain is seriously heavy. So I'll have a look here, because Fulamira here, she's got 3 in extraction. So just go back to the skills. So that one there, the one that's got the little axe, that's the extraction one. So we're going to hire her. Just out of curiosity, she's 21. Oh, okay. A bit of a chat actually, just out of curiosity. See what kind of gauge what our personality is like, just out of curiosity. Yeah, it's exactly what we're going to get in this sort of day with this sort of rain coming down. How's your day going? Okay. What about your skills? Okay. Well, she's going to be working in the well, to be honest. At least for now, anyway. Okay, so she doesn't like crafting things, so... Right. Oh, wow. That's a relief from that noise of the rain. Right, okay, so... Fulamira, she's going downhill as far as morale goes, because it's a case of, yeah, she's got nowhere to live. So I'm going to put her into... Yeah, so at least I can tell. So the one that's on the right is the one next to the well. So I quite like that way, getting a little icon bouncing around on the map as I'm moving around. So you can see the different, like, little... Oh, no. I didn't want to put her there. I wanted to go in there. I needed to go in that one. Otherwise, I'm going to have the problem where I could end up with lots of children and people not working anymore. Right, so let's just double check that one. So, yeah, so Bolomira is there on our own. So there's that house there, which is where we live with Damrica and Ulrich, and then everybody else has got their own individual house. So the well, I need somebody to work there. So put Bolomira into that one. Ah, now that's interesting. The well is for extraction. I'm now intrigued because, let me go back into that again. That didn't make sense to me. So this is a water carrier. Ah, now you need a farming skill. Now that's odd, because that is very odd because it comes under extraction, but it says you need a farming skill, and that's the reason why it's highlighting the farming. You see, in green. So it looks like what I'll have to do. I mean, at some point I do need somebody to start working in an extraction hut, because one of the problems I've had is I've been having to gather a lot of stone, because the blacksmith, Namir here, I think that's how to pronounce his name, he was running out of stone, so I had to gather quite a lot of stone. I could do with somebody who will be able to do that for me in like the extraction hut. So I think I might just keep her temporarily working on the well. Technically she's not the best person suited to it, but at least it gives us something to do. In the meantime, I'm just going to max that out. I just wish they would sort of give you that option to sort of like either type in, the percentage you want, or to just click on like the max button, or the minimum button, or like they do when you do transfers, for example. Otherwise you just got to keep the mouse button held down. Anyway, so she should be able to gather 5 buckets of water per day. Well, that's odd, because it says it's collected from lakes, rivers, and the well. Which is that's one thing I always found kind of strange with that well, is that, I mean, we're right next to the actual river, but I need a well to get somebody else to gather water. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. One thing I want to do is I want to go and see Alwin. May as well catch up with him. I still really need to get Unigost's story done. We need to go and see Sambor at some point. But Alvin's over here. Let's see what he wants us to do this day and age. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so I need to get some logs and a hammer. Oh, boobar. My iron axe is about to break. So we need 5 logs. I can see, yeah, I thought as much. Right, I'm gonna have to find some stone. But it's interesting. So he wants to become a hunter. He's getting bored with being a farmer. He doesn't see any interest in it anymore. That's not what he wants to be. So I need 10 sticks. Okay. If I can find the little saplings, I'll get a lot. Oh, there you go. Yeah, if I can get them off the saplings quicker. It's still too short. Oh, is that one there? Right, we'll have to make do with our stone axe then. So basically he wants us to make an archery range, or at least help him get one anyway. Oh, he wants a wooden hammer. Well, I can give him the one I've got, to be honest. That's probably the easiest thing. This feels so much slower than using that iron axe. Right, that's that one there. Those logs must have gone somewhere else then, if I've only got 2. Oh, great, what's it doing up there? I'm still missing one from somewhere. That's 1, 2. Go over into there. Go over the fence. Maybe that's what the cow's complaining about. Maybe the cow got hit by a log. It's complaining. Hopefully it didn't hit the cow. Oh, is that a bull? Jeez Louise, that's a big bull. Right. Where's Alwin gone? He wants a wooden hammer. Okay. Right. Here you go. Okay. Right. So we're gonna build an archery range basically, because he wants to get some practice in as a hunter. I know where he's gonna go anyway, to be fair. But at least anyway, I mean, I've got somebody to get started with the well. But there wasn't anybody here who was any good at production, and that's what I need for the for making the actual basket. So I've got somebody who'll be able to draw the water, but I need somebody to actually then make the basket, the buckets, because the trouble is they'll run out of durability after a while every time you use it. Oh, seriously, I've got to follow you. What, are you stuck? Are you stuck by the tree? I can't believe that. You get stuck on a tree. Good grief. I don't know, the things you have to do for people. Right, where's he gone to? Oh, there he is, he's down there, yeah. So basically he's just going to build this archery range down there, or at least we're going to help him. Well, I'll have to go across the river over to Borrowwood to see if I can find somebody to work in the workshop. Then I'll get them to probably make some buckets. It'll be interesting to see how many they go through, or how many they can produce in a day. Right, so basically the next thing is we'll have to start trying to get better points than he can get after this. And I think the visibility is a bit lousy in this weather, so I'm going to do a bit of a circuit. I'm going to see if I can find anybody who's got a reasonable level in production. Well, I say reasonable, it's got to be at least 3 basically. The maximum I can get is 3, so I mean I'll have a look around. If I can't get anybody here, I'll end up doing a circuit around the area to find somebody who's got that level 3. Well, I've no idea why anybody wants to sit out in this rain. I mean, we're over in Baranica now. I didn't find anyone in Borrowwood. So we've come over here, and I've actually got a choice of either Gostovia here or Oldmere. They've both got level 3 in production. Gostovia, she's got a level 3 in survival. Aldmere's got a level 3 in hunting, so they're both similar age as well. So it's like, you know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So I've ended up going for Gostovia because it really makes no difference. I can't see a benefit for either or, and Gostovia was the first one I looked at, so I think we'll go with her to do our actual woodworking.
How is life treating you?
Terrible because there's rain. So what's on your mind aside from the rain? Okay. Yeah, I think you're listening to the sounds of nature already. Okay. Okay, fair enough. That's an interesting perspective. Unless you prefer to be a cook or foobar. Oh, okay. Oh, well, fair enough. Well, anyway, I mean, you can join the crew. Right, so we'll put her in her own home as well. So we've got an empty house for her, which is just to the left of where we made that woodworking shop. So if we go over to... Right, so they're working in the workshop, so I'll assign her to the workshop. Good, yes, at least that one's working. I've still no idea why the water carrier comes underneath under farming skills, but whatever. So you're going to be working there. Now, I suppose the question then is what to make. Now that's locked, so I'm going to have to... I can't seem to unlock it from there. I wonder if I can unlock it from here. Yes, we can. So I can't. Some of them I can unlock from the technology. So that gets that one. So if we go back to management, then I should be able to now make. Well, I say me. It's actually her who's going to make them. If we go back to the workshop, then we should be able to get a. I wonder how much it's going to take. I mean, to make. It takes about 1/5 of our time to make just one bucket. What about the plates here? Wow, we've used up most of our time already, basically, just to be able to make a bucket and a plate. It's just crazy. I mean, we may as well get some torch as well, right? Because there's nothing else at the moment I've got unlocked. Most of the things that are in here are probably going to be things I'm just going to sell. I've noticed the things there is now wooden files. As far as I'm aware, yeah, they get used by the herbalist though. So that might be something of interest for me. The torch. Yeah, better torches, so that might be something of use. I think we'll get a bit, try to get it to make more plates. Because really, I think later down the line, I think my intention would be to start selling things off anyway. Get her to make things that we just later sell. Ooh, just about. I'll put the rest into there. It's a nice round number, that 15. Right, so that gets us those two jobs, but it's a case of the well. Yeah, that's a bit tricky because technically Polymere is better suited to excavation. And one thing I do need, I mean, up here where we are at, there's actually a mine. Now I can get a lot of stone as a byproduct, and I can get a lot of copper and tin for like this, for the actual smithy, for example. If I work up here and get some work done up here, I can't assign anybody to do the work yet, though. That's the trouble. Now the excavation, on the other hand, that would get me some stone. That's one option, I suppose. That way, at least somebody else is doing that part. In the mine at the moment, until we actually get an actual mine, which needs some serious technology to be able to build one of them. Let's have a look and see if it comes under. Yeah, the mine, you need 5,000 points to be able to build a mine. And until you have a mine, you can't get any NPCs to actually work in there. The extraction hut doesn't work there either as well. It has to be an actual mine. So you can't have, say, like an extraction, I call it an extraction hut, it's an excavation shed. You can't have anybody working in an excavation shed outside and just going inside of the mine and gathering things. It's just all they do is they just go out and just collect stone and things like clay and some limestone, for example. So that's a bit of a pity. But at this stage, I'm really just trying to get some of the workload off me so I can get somebody else to do it. So it is tempting to build the excavation shed, and then I can probably assign Bolomera to do that, and then get somebody who's better suited as the water carrier. I don't really need that much water, to be honest, but I'd rather put, you know, the proper person into the proper job. So I think what we'll do actually is I think we're going to head back. So we're up here. I'm going to head back, and I think I'll build another house and get an excavation shed built. And that way we'll start getting a good supply of stone, or at least a reasonable supply. But it's now day 3 of autumn, and now gone from sort of like high winds and a lot of rain to high winds and just fog. So yeah, I mean, I managed to get most of this done last night, so I've just finished this building off now, and all that's just left is just to add the finishing touches to our excavation shed there. So this place needed mostly logs. All of these panels are all logs. So yeah, that took a lot of trees that fell over there. But I think what I'm going to do is we've got, yeah, it's Bolomera who we hired her. Now, as I found out, it's a case of she's actually better at excavation. And to be honest, I thought that's what the well would need. So I'm going to do a bit of juggling. I'm actually going to get her. I'm going to move her from that house into here. I want to assign her to here. So although she's, yeah, I mean it's kind of just odd because it's an excavation like building, but for some reason it needs farming. But anywho, I want to try an experiment. I'm going to get her to work here instead, because she's better at extraction. Now the only thing is she doesn't have an actual pickaxe. Now the only thing I'm particularly interested in at the moment is really the stone, because the blacksmith keeps running out of stone, and this should save me a bit of hassle. Now Normally it would be a case of you'd be looking for stone deposits, and there are quite a few, like up there, for example, and dotted around. There's various little areas where there's stone rocks, if you will, that you need to mine with a pickaxe. There's also clay deposits over in that direction. And normally what you'd end up with is things like limestone and stone out of that, or clay if you're going in that direction for the clay mines. But I'm curious to see how much she actually achieves, because there are no outcroppings here. So I'm just curious to see whether she'll actually get any, to be honest. Because the last time I did this, I had an actual village way over in that direction, right over there, which is where there are some stone croppings. So yeah, it'd be interesting, because she's just kind of like standing around doing nothing. And to be fair, the animation was just normally they would just stand around in the hut anyway. Just out of curiosity though, so if you have a look at that excavation shed, interesting, you can actually have 2 people working here. So in theory we should be getting about 30 stone. Curious and curious. Oh, there's a little piggies. Pig 1 and pig 2. Right, so we've got her moved over to there. She's now assigned to do that, which means we now need... I mean, that should basically... Hopefully it'll take care of his stone needs, because if we go over to the smithy, he's burning through about 10 stone a day, so okay, that should be good then. If she can actually do that 30, because as I say, there isn't actually any stone outcroppings around here, so yeah. Anyhow, I now need somebody to take over this job then, in which case I need to now go around and find somebody who's actually got better farming skills. My little pig. So that's the piglet. That's the male piglet. So she's looking after the little female one, which is around here somewhere. Where the heck's... Well, she was a minute ago. Where's the other little pig gone? Normally you would be able to see the animals. At the moment I can't see these. Unless that's because I don't have the skill yet for it. So that's the survival sense. Tracker, so yeah, at the moment I can't see animals in the inspector mode. Anywho, I need to go and find somebody to take over this job of the water carrier. Right, I thought I was going to run out of time this season. We're finally over down here in Deniger, because I've gone right the way around. Started off in Brannick and worked my way around, and I finally found one person who's got a level 3 in farming, and that's Naradka over there. So, just to check. Yep, so she's got level 3 in farming and level 3 in diplomacy. So, you know, I mean, she might come in handy even later on when we get, like the market stalls, for example. So that's where that diplomacy skill comes into play. Anyway,
hello, friend.
Hello. Let's see what's on your mind today. Okay, so fair enough. That's an interesting perspective. How's your day been going? Okay. See, this is the thing with her having like farming skills. She's obviously used to working in the fields, not in a on a like you know, in a well, for example. So I think that's a bit strange. That. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, do you want to join the crew? Excellent. Right, so we'll put her into that house then. So that's the last of our spare houses. They're all now used up. So the work job is she can work in the well then. So she'll do a better job, but to be fair, I've already found that we're running out of those buckets anyway. So it's a case of right, okay, it wasn't enough. I don't think our other villager got back in time to even start working on them. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, so Gostovia, she's now doing the extraction. It's Or is she? I thought it's that was it. It's Bolomera's doing the extraction. Gostovia, she's doing the workshop. So if we go over to the workshop, I mean, how many of these buckets is she producing? So she's producing about 2 buckets per day. We're going to end up with like way more water, which is why I'm definitely curious as to why we want that water well, because like especially for like a small village, we'll end up producing way more water than we need. Well, some leather. Oh, that sounds useful. And a water skin. I mean, I have found some other these tipped over carts. I mean, so far I've found like a bronze axe and a bronze sickle, for instance. Some planks as well, because they introduced even more sort of like random places where you can find things. Anyway, we need to get back to the village and see where we are at. Well, we've managed to get back to the village. It looks like our fields are now ready. I was just having a look at that, and the field that we've got. I mean, basically, there's just this rye to be planted, so that's what's in there at the minute. I mean, if you have a look and see what's possible, we could do wheat as well, which isn't something I need. So I suppose Edmund's probably got nothing to do. He's probably standing around. Oh, there he is. He's over there. So I suppose I may as well give him something else to do. I mean, we're almost about to get into winter anyway, but may as well give him something to keep him occupied for now. So we put that down there, because I'd rather at least get some sort of extra experience out of this. Yeah, that'll do. I'll keep him occupied for a bit longer, because we'll then get into winter and I think it's just the carrots. That's the only thing you can plant then. Now, I do have some oats, because he managed to harvest those, so I can thresh those. So we got, let's see, how much did we get? We got about 120 oats, so we'll get enough grain out of those. And I'm going to keep some of them to one side, because now that we've got animals, I need to be able to produce the actual animal feed as well. So I'm just going to have a look, because we've got some rye grain here. So I'll grab some of that. And then I can turn what I get out of the oats as well as the rye grain into let's just make about 20 for now. But I can turn these. It's a combination of the two that gets you the animal feed. When we do need that, because we're now keeping pigs. I mean, I suppose we could start getting chickens and geese, for example, because they'll get you eggs, which you can turn into various meals, for example. But there's also the feathers as well. I mean, the hunter can get feathers. We can get feathers every time we're chopping trees down, for example. But yeah, we'll do with a lot of arrows, because I mean, I'm not just going to keep them for myself, I'm also going to sell them as well. So let's see, so we haven't unlocked animal feed, so I need to pay for that. And then I've only got enough for, how much straw do you need? So each one needs 5. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, I can put this animal feed, I can just put that into the main storage container, and then our farmer over there, she can pick that up to feed the pigs. But I obviously need a bit more, so I'll just put that into there for now, because at the moment we don't have any. Well, that's interesting. I never noticed that. We've got a bag from somewhere. Where did that bag come from? Because I don't remember if I got the workshop to actually make. Well, actually we can't, because I need the actual sewing hook to make bags. So that's interesting. But anywho, we've now got ourselves somebody working in the workshop. So basically I just built her house over here. So she's now beavering away. She'll be making mostly the buckets more than anything else. Let's see, it's the yeah, it's that one. So we've got her making buckets and plates and some simple torches. most of the rest are cosmetic, except maybe the wooden vials, I suppose. Then we've got a house over here that we built next to the well. Yep, so we've got a well and another house built there, so we've now got somebody looking after that. And then we've got our excavation shed, so that basically takes care of like the wood. Yeah, what's something we can do with the wood? We can turn that into basically the buckets for the water more than anything. But we should also now start getting stone. But the one thing I still don't have is somebody to actually start making the bags for the farmer. I could also really do with a... Just go back to the map rather than that little mini-map. Probably really start thinking about building a resource storage up here, because then at least I can work in the mine up there. Start gathering copper if nothing else. And we'll get like a surplus of stone from that. I mean, I could mine the tin, but we're not into the process of being able to make bronze yet. Just out of curiosity. That'll be there. So if we look at bronze weapons, yeah, we need 500 production technology. So I mean, it's not too bad, because at least now I've got a blacksmith. Plus we've also got our woodworker over there, so those two should be getting me some passive production technology while we're going. We've got somebody else now actually working on the well, which means I'm actually getting farming technology out of that. I'm getting a bit of extraction technology out of that. Farming technology over there. We'll be getting various technologies from people back there. Farming technology from our pigs. So all of these people are just getting me extra experience in that technology as we go by, without me having to do anything more. But I think the only gap at the moment is probably the bags, then, by the looks of it. But I really want to progress into better tools and weapons, and that's why, like I say, we can do the mine up here, because if I build the resource storage up there, I can at least gather the resources, put them into the storage box there. It'll be linked to this one back here, which means that the actual blacksmith can then actually work the copper that we mine up here without me having to carry it all the way down. So that makes life a heck of a lot easier, except for the fact it's going to be in the winter. And that's all for another episode.